Hey, what's going on, guys? Today, FHC Outdoors, we have a special preview of a lure that's about to hit the market. The Larry Dahlberg Diver Frog actually comes from River2Sea, and it's going to change the frog fishing game completely. Most of you bass anglers out there are used to throwing a topwater frog and skimming it back over the top just like a boat. Well, that's going to change today with the new Dahlberg Diver Frog. It weighs in about 1 ounce, so it's a little bit heavier frog, and the actual body is about 2.5 inches long, so it's a good sized bait, and we're about to break the box open and show you exactly why it's going to change the game. Alright guys, so with our cold weather, we're not going to be catching any bass today, but we are going to open this up and show you some basic details that you need to pay attention to when it comes to storing the frog, and then we'll get into some video on how to actually fish it. So just opening it up here. You're gonna have 4 different colors. This is the actual lime color. You have a brown, a black, and then a darker green color. So there's quite a few different color choices. Now the first thing you're gonna notice is that once you get it out of its case, there's an actual tool in here. There is the frog, and there's an extra set of legs. Now, the legs are made out of thermoplastic rubber, or what they call TPR. Now, this material can negatively interact with other lures in your tackle box, so River2Sea actually recommends that you store this entire frog in its own Ziploc bag. And this is just going to make sure that it doesn't damage your lures or your Plano tackle boxes. And so we'll get into changing the legs in a later video, but for now we'll go ahead and take you to an overview of the diver frog. Alright guys, so taking a closer look here at the Dahlberg Diver Frog, the line ties up front, and what you're going to notice right off the bat is that the body is still a hard plastic, which is what most of you are used to, but you're going to see an increase in detail when it comes to the paint and pattern, and that is because the fish actually get a 360-degree view of the frog when it's in the water, because it no longer is just a topwater frog. You can reel it in like a topwater frog that you're used to, but the big difference here is that you want to make it look and act like a real frog. And so the attention to detail is amazing. The rubber legs here, once again, they are thermoplastic rubber, and this is what gives the lure its action. It's a very, very stretchy yet durable material that you can stretch out, and it goes back, even kind of sticks together a little bit when it's out of the water. But the other components consist of weed guard, which is what River2Sea calls the collar, and this actually flares up and protects the hook just enough to keep you out of the weeds. And of course, the logo and everything there on the bottom with that big River2Sea hook that's very, very sharp. And so make sure you take very good care of that when you're taking it out of the package, because it'll stick you. So beyond that, it's basically we're going to get it in the water and show you guys what it looks like. We're not going to be catching any bass here today up in Spokane, Washington. It's 39 degrees. Our hands are freezing cold, but we did want to show you the action and the difference, that it's going to be completely separate from any other frog experience that you've ever had. So right before we get to casting this thing, the biggest input is going to be making it look and act like a real frog. So you're going to want to be hopping it, you're going to want to twitch it. The most important part of this frog is that when you stop reeling, it's going to actually pop back up into the surface and actually float. And so when you're actually moving it and hopping it and twitching it, it's going to dive, hence the name diver frog. So you just want to keep those aspects in mind. So the biggest thing here, guys, is that you're really trying to make it look like a real frog. And so when it's sitting still, of course, its legs are going to swing to the side, and then push forward as the frog moves forward. And so with the diver frog here, this is exactly what you're going to see. It looks like a real frog. It actually suspends if you don't move it, and so it'll suspend and it'll pop back up to the top of the surface. We have a little bit of a current here, which is why he's moving off, but as soon as you pull it back and you start popping it and twitching it, it's going to dive down to the bottom, and you can almost scrape it along the bottom just like you would a crankbait. It's going to go far. It's a 1 ounce lure, so it has a little bit of weight to it. But the more that you jerk and the more that you hop it and the more action you give it, the deeper it's going to fall into the water column. And so you can actually get it down to the bottom and actually make it crawl. And this is something that real frogs do.